Good evening. It's your girl, Shawn LaRae, and welcome back to Boss Talk. So tonight, I have a family member as a guest, and I am really excited to introduce you to her. It is Dr. Janoc Vance, and she is a PsyD in psychotherapy and marriage family therapy, and a proud native of Los Angeles. She has dedicated her life to humanitarian and philanthropic work as a vessel to strengthen and empower. And she has a background as a professional in the performing arts industry. And so tonight we are going to find out how she kind of connects all that fantastic artistic energy into her new role as a psychotherapist and a doctor, no less. So, welcome to the stage, the room tonight, Dr. Jannock, my dear sweet niece.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are
It's
you,
so
my
good to
auntie?
have you. I am really good. I'm so excited to have you on. And this
Awesome.
is going to be fun. So let's
I
have some
know. I get to be
So,
with my girl.
yes, yes. And I just want to say, as we get started, that tonight is an extra special night because, and perfect to have you on because today, January 5th, is the day that I met your amazing uncle, the love of my life, William Joseph,
I know,
whom you
man.
call Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe, I know I miss him like crazy. What I am so grateful for, though, is that y'all did meet on this date because you are just a dream of an auntie and a dream of a
Oh,
friend. And it's so crazy because, like, who would have thought that we would be in the same career
right.
in the arts world for the most part too, and
Yes,
in the psychology world. Like, talk about
absolutely.
alignment, right?
Yes. And when we met, neither one of us knew that this was our path,
Not at all.
right?
Because I, I
So,
I knew I wasn't even in this world. Not
at
well, at
all.
least not knowingly. I think we hindsight we kind of were,
Yes,
but didn't know.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
yeah,
that's a great thing to start talking about because I feel the same way. I feel like out of all the things that I have done in my life, and there have been many,
right.
I
Hi.
feel like, and you're younger than I by many, many years, and I think that
Nothing like it.
you have had the same journey. And so I think though when I landed in this space, I felt like I'm home. Like this is
Yes,
where I was headed all these years.
absolutely,
Yeah. So tell me
absolutely.
how that worked out for you and tell us a little bit about your journey and starting out in the arts world.
Well, goodness, mom paid attention to my love for dance literally at 2, 3 years old. So I was in dance class at 3. And she continued to help me nurture that. And I never left dance after that. And ended up being in that world professionally almost seeming like from then because I was in a very strict environment at that time, which dance turned into acting and acting turned into singing and working behind the scenes and everything else. And so I ended up going to college for it as well. I ended up majoring in theater, doubled in film and dance. Was working in the entertainment industry all that time, dancing for several people that people know and some that some folks don't know, in the entertainment world and in the theater world of entertainment as well.
Yeah.
Ended up, like I said, going to school for theater, film, and dance. Graduated with those degrees as my undergrad, continued working in that field. However, it was when I was with my Juilliard trainer. His name is Bob Brewer. I will never forget, hindsight, he was critiquing us and it was such a hard program or whatever, and he told me, he said, you have, your expertise is in understanding behavior, your ability to break down character analysis is very, very rare. And I was like 20, like, oh, okay, thank you.
Oh, like you say so.
Right, thanks, Bob Brewer. He's super hard and tough, and to get that critique from him, I'm like, awesome. Now I continue in the career of performing arts, and I'm like, 30 something, and I was like, you know what? There's something else. My purpose and my passion is still in the performing arts industry, but there's something else. What is it that people keep saying about me, that people feel comfortable or feel like they can trust me, or their secrets end up just lying safely in my space? And of course, I took that as a compliment, but I was like, God's telling me something else.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
once I got that message, because I'm gonna tell y'all, school is not my thing. Not interested in school. I'm obviously for people getting educated and nurturing their craft and honing in on their skill, but I'm not necessarily your conventional, oh, you need to go to college and all this kind of stuff. But when I got that message from God, I was like, I need to go get my master's in somewhere in psychology, because I'm hearing that I have some kind of understanding of behavior. And so that means I need to merge those worlds somehow. So literally I applied and was in a month and was like the last person they accepted in the program. So if that wasn't like God, like telling me, this is what you need to do, I already have it aligned, go for it. And I'm going to end up merging both of those careers. And that's really where my career is today. I'm still in the performing arts world, mixed, intermingled with psychology. And it's mind blowing because I never thought those worlds would mesh.
I love that. And I can so relate to that. Y'all, I got to keep it real with y'all. My intern is screaming my name from outside the door because she went to the bathroom and locked herself out.
Oh my God. No.
I got to go let her in. I'm so
get her out.
Hold that thought. I'm coming.
Oh my gosh, this is too funny.
Okay, so
is she safe now? Is she safe?
She's safe and she's inside the door. I told her I was locking it, but she went to the bathroom and didn't take her key. So I feel like at this point she should pop her head in here and say hello to the people.
She should.
Yes, you come in here and say hello. But as you mentioned, we are talking, and this is perfect because very excitedly, Coco, come on over here, is an intern, well, was an intern. Bend your head so they can see you. Go under the, there, yep, come over this way. There you are. There you are. Right there you are. Now come, there you are.
Hey again, no locking yourself in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I completely forgot and grabbed the bathroom key and was like, oh, yeah, it's locked. Sorry.
Because I had just told her I'm going to lock us in here. So Coco has been an intern in a social work intern in my office for 8 months, from May to December. And she just graduated. And she just found out today that her degree has been conferred. So now she can apply for her registration and get her registration number to become an employee in my office.
Come on.
Give Coetta a round of applause.
Big
ups. All right, now go write your notes. All right. All right. What better time? If that had to happen, this was a good time for it, because you
call life. That's what it's called.
Absolutely. And this is a show where anything can happen.
That's right. That's right.
Gigi says, congratulations, Coco. And she also says that she loves that you listen to God's voice and pursue the goal that he set for you. And I think that is so amazingly true. I mean, because, you know, there's so many people who have not listened to that voice, who are living unhappily.
You better say it.
Yeah, and not living in their, I call it your God-given, God-driven purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is so important to do. And when you have that opportunity, because God gives us those gifts, right? And sometimes you have to be mindful and be paying attention in order to get the message.
Well, that's the thing. We listen to so many other voices, I think we all have been guilty of that to a certain
Mhm.
degree. And they're not necessarily negative voices. It's the psychology word that we always talk about, pathology. Like you
Yes.
hear the world's voices telling you, I know from at least my generation, and I'm sure even prior to, you constantly heard, um, you pick one career and you focus on that. You had kind of like this linear type of thinking where if you're not seasoned, or you're not what is it, honing in on a skill, if you are looking at different aspects of life. And I'm like, that just didn't work with me. I was like, are you telling me that God only made me a linear person? You're telling me that this amazing God that's full of all the great things
Yes.
created me, and there's only supposed to be one focus? Like, absolutely, I definitely feel like there's an umbrella focus in this, but I'm like, I'm an artist. There is no way that you're telling me that there's only one thing that I should, be able to do. And so
Yes.
now I'm glad that I at some point listened, because I would have never known that these two worlds could have not only collided, but like have this beautiful marriage with one another. Like, there's things that are
Yes.
happening in my career that I couldn't have thought of, but
Absolutely.
listening to him allowed these things to start happening, so
Oh, I
that's
love that.
the story. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so true. And one of the things I think is amazing is also that people, when you have that marriage, it's a blessing, because you can use some of the very things that we learned as artists, we get
Hello.
to transfer over into psychotherapy. We talk about, I'm a holistic, and I know that you are too, and I believe,
Mhm.
and what that means, because it's a cute word, but what that really means. So so holistic is that you are looking to heal the whole person, not
Yes.
just you come in and what, okay, so you have anxiety and you have depression, okay, take this pill, do this exercise, be mindful, that's it. No, 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 no. Because where's that showing up in your life? How is
Yeah.
that showing up in your spirit? And what
Yep.
is it doing to your mind? So it's
And girl,
mind,
it
body,
gets boring.
spirit. Oh,
It gets
yes,
boring when you don't
exactly.
cultivate things holistically as the professional. You're like, okay, so I'm only focusing on this. And it doesn't mean that we don't find our niches. Absolutely. But even in the niche, you're still serving the holistic person. I'm so glad that you said
Absolutely.
mind, body, and spirit. It's crazy. I'm going to sidebar this. It's crazy talking to you like this, Auntie, because now I'm also realizing, like, even in our professional world, how alike our minds are as far as the approach within
Hmm.
this career. Because which
Yes.
also speaks to why I feel connected to you outside of that. Because just because you family don't mean that you connected.
Right. Absolutely.
You might be
You
attached
know
to
that.
folks that you don't really want to be, but it don't mean that you're connected. But I'm just saying, it makes a lot of sense, like hearing you speak about that in the
Yes.
professional realm, because it's necessary. And you're right, a lot of people don't really know what holistic means, and it really
Hmm.
is serving the mind, body, and the spirit. And how are we able to teach that and really not honing in on that on our own, you know?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Growing up, it was that I was going to be an attorney. It's like
Oh,
everybody
I
knew
can see
that.
that too.
Everybody said
What
that,
a
right?
glasses you
With
have
my
on right
glasses on and my
now.
little Chanel jacket. I was going to be an attorney. And people really didn't, like they said, anybody that talks that much ought to get paid. And so that's what my family said. And coming full circle, that was the furthest thing that I really needed to be. I'm a law school dropout. I didn't want that. And art always pulled me. The other thing was that sitting in somebody's office doing their mission never worked well for me.
Got you.
So, I tell people all the time, I've been fired from some of the best places on the planet. And I love it because I was not cut out that way. And we talk about listening to God's voice, because I was listening to the voices that told me, you're going to become a lawyer, you're going to do really well in that, and all of that. And the one thing that I knew is I thought I wanted to be, even in law, I thought I wanted to be an international lawyer. And then I got there and found out really there's no such thing. And because the minute it doesn't work, they change it. And so
Ah,
there was this part of me that was like, you're probably going to end up being a criminal attorney working for the people.
Mm.
And so there was always this aspect. People have always said, you're a people person, you're a people person. And I know that that's who you are. That's your whole
Yeah.
everything, Janoc.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, therapy was unheard of.
Hello.
And no one could have told me I would ever be a therapist.
No, not at all. Like I didn't. I heard of it as a kid. Um, and even when I heard of it, for some reason, I never like rejected it as some of us within our specific culture would.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because again, it was that pathology again. You know, you go to church, pray about it, and this and that,
Pray
whatever.
about it.
And I get it. I'm like, I'm still praying about stuff. But if I break my leg, I'm praying that God sends me to the right surgeon.
Right.
I'm praying that he sends me to the right doctor,
You
you
better
know,
see.
like, yeah,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, we still vessels up in this thing. So,
Yes.
and sometimes, most times, your family is not going to hear with the same or even see with the same lens as somebody that is kind of has an external view of things. And
Right.
that is so, so necessary. But anyway, when I was like, okay, therapy, I'm the person that people keep coming to for stuff. Well, I need to turn this into something,
Yes.
and actually nurture it. That has always been my biggest thing, whether it was me being a dancer, an actress, you know, singing, whatever it was. I was like, if I'm going to do it, I need to nurture this craft. And that's really
Yes.
all school was for me, because I'm trying to tell you, like I said, I wasn't into school whatsoever. But even me going to the doctoral level was about me having the freedom as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And having the respect. I'm like, I'm going to keep it real. I'm still a Black woman. I'm an African-American woman in a field that was created by white males. Psychology's birth is per what America's standards is by white males. That's fine.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm also a Black woman in this game. So I was like,
That's
no,
right.
I want to have whatever that freedom is to me. So that's why I went that far in education. I don't feel like it's necessary for everybody. Some people will come to me wanting mentorship for education alone and think that I'm going to be like, yeah, get your master's, get your doctorate. I'm like, that was my journey.
Right. Thank you for saying that.
Yes, like this is not
Yes.
everybody's journey. I wanted especially the respect within this field. Granted, a lot of people don't even know the level I am in this field unless we're actually talking about it. So I was like, when it's time for that space,
Yeah.
then you'll know that
Mm-hmm.
there's doctor in front of this. Other than
Absolutely. Yes. You know, people have always said to me, why do you need your doctorate? And even as I was getting ready to go into it, I was like, well, it's not a need, right? It's a desire. It's what I want to do. It's a personal goal, a personal journey.
absolutely.
For me, it's completion, number one. It's a credential that I want because I want to be respected in the field the way that some of those white males are. And if I walk into a room with them, and sometimes I do get to play with those boys and girls, they don't look at me as the expert.
Hello.
You know, exactly. And so, and
neither
then
one of us have that conventional look either, even
exactly.
within our actual race. Like
Exactly.
they don't expect it, period.
Exactly.
And that's fine with me. I'm like perfectly fine because I need you to see me as this human first. And then, yes, I may wow you in the fact that you find out there's another element to me. But no, I'm with you on it.
Absolutely. And you know, that was the other thing is for me to be in a suit and some pumps all day has never been my thing.
Girl,
no, if I can't drape it, slap it to the side, cock it to the right, and step,
honey,
I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Honey, you know we are the Bohemian goddesses. What are you talking about? With our jewelry and everything.
Absolutely.
You already know.
Absolutely. Oh, and my goodness. Thank you for saying jewelry because I need to give a shout out. I need to give a shout out to Pamela McDonald for my matching earring.
Come through, Pamela.
And she has beautiful, beautiful pieces. And I feel so embarrassed that I cannot call the name of it. It's something goddess, I believe. It's amazing. Her stuff is really beautiful. This is rose gold. And I happened to go to a conference, so I'll give another shout out for Julie Landy of Live Your Vision. I went to the Live Your Vision conference with my girl Chantel Denise in September in Georgia, and I won this. They called my name and I got these. And the crazy thing is that Pamela and I people have been telling us we needed to connect. And so they were like, well, where should we mail them? And I was like, no, I'm going to go get them. But we ended up mailing them anyway because life and COVID and all of that. But I do want to tell you that her whole line is really stunning. And I'll show you this piece up close. See that?
Oh, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. So Pamela McDonald, y'all. And Penelope D, thank you for joining. She says human first. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what it's about.
It really is. It really is. And, and also people judge the book by its cover.
Hello.
And so in this role, we get to see people at their most vulnerable. And so when people walk in, we're cured of that judging the book by its cover thing, right? Because when people walk in, you have no idea what their story is going to be. And, as human beings, we get very comfortable and very, very good at wearing the mask.
Hello.
And covering everything up, even with our language and our speech. And
our smiles.
Was that?
And our smiles.
And our smiles, absolutely. But when you walk in that room, there's something about that room that eventually, because not at the beginning, people actually drop those guards and drop those walls and actually let you in. And I think it is the most beautiful gift to be able to see people at their most vulnerable and then to watch them create for themselves the safety, the healing that they need, and gift. So I am grateful in this spot.
Me too. I'm super grateful. I think it's an honor. I mean, the vulnerability you get to see is on both ends, because sometimes I think when people think that vulnerability only looks like disclosing like the painful things and the hard things. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people realize that a lot of folks are having difficulty being vulnerable about the things that they are happy about and excited about, because they also don't have that support system to covet that either. And to be able to see or be able to be in the room to witness people actually experience the joy, because somebody told us somewhere in our minds that if you called yourself beautiful, you were being conceited. But if right? But if you said, I disclose I did the worst thing of this and that, whatever. Oh, he's keeping it real, or she's keeping it real.
Oh, girl.
And meanwhile, when they get with us and after those layers start coming down, they're like, no, I actually felt that I looked good that day, or I felt good about this and someone told me otherwise, or I was being too cocky. And so I'm like, I love being able to see people actually hone in on the excitable parts of themselves as well.
Yes.
Like,
oh yes,
it's so pretty to me.
So
I'm like, and we're telling people like, oh, well, you need to not allow the world to validate you, but at the same time, when someone has self-validation, we're calling them conceited. Or
I love it. You gotta preach to that, girl. Come on.
Like, what is this? I'm like, no. I need you to tell me what it is that you love about yourself, or that you think is dope about yourself, and lead with that. Because how much more are we going to nurture this negative stuff? Like, keep it real about about your crap. Absolutely. Like, please tell me, be real about the things that you wish that you could do better, or that that you have not admitted to or been accountable for. Please do that. But I think as therapists or as clinicians, period, I think it's important for us to allow people to understand accountability also works in the realm of celebrating yourself, to be accountable for the things that you've done well and done right. If we led more with that, I bet you people will be a lot more positive in their experiences with people instead of this nasty. I'm sick of this nasty crap. We
Oh
got
my
COVID
God. Yeah.
enough. So
I
COVID is already nasty. I don't need the other nasty.
Exactly, exactly. Let's see. L. Larkins, thank you for joining us and thank you for coming.
That's
She said,
Sissy. That's
yes.
Lauren. That's your niece.
Is that my baby Lauren?
Yes.
Hello,
And
darling. Thank you for joining. She says, yes, vulnerability equals authenticity.
hello.
Absolutely.
I like
Yes. And
that.
my friend Chantel Denise would be, that's my word, authenticity. It
Girl.
looks so good on us, and I think that what you're speaking about in terms of just owning what's wonderful and beautiful and good and leading with that is,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's such a beautiful concept. And I try, you would be shocked and you wouldn't, but a lot of us would be shocked, people would be shocked to see how difficult it is for people to do that, to live in that, and
Girl.
to actually say out loud that they've done wonderful things and that they're great and that they want to let it shine, because there's not a lot of space for that in our
Right.
current living situation and the way that people view themselves and others. And if you feel good about yourself, then you're more prone to feel good genuinely, from a genuine
Hello.
loving space, feel good about your sisters and people in the world. Because if you are holding some kind of animosity, some kind of I am not enoughness in your heart, then it's hard to celebrate other people.
You are so right.
Right? And so
It's
I find
true.
that to be so important and so healthy,
It is. Because it spills into how, or even the relationships you form in life. Like it's something, I've had to learn. Like, yes, gratefully, I've been known as the happy kid, or, the loving kid as a kid. And, because I think everyone has their kind of their innate, like, characteristics about themselves.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that I feel like that all the time. And
Right.
so if we would kind of like learn how to like nurture that spirit, then those are some of the things that we will receive back. I hear a lot of people that will be like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. See, I told you so. We're waiting to prove these theories of negativity. And it's not to say that negative things don't happen. Like it's real. But it's about how you handle it is the biggest deal that I had to learn. And I was like, okay, absolutely, Jannock, you need to, look at the negative stuff that's happening, acknowledge the pain, because that's also my way of honoring my holistic self, right? Like if we're going to honor our holistic self, we got to honor it all, which means the pain that has happened. However, when I honor that, I also have to honor those other things about myself, the other things that are beautiful about myself. And then it allows me to cultivate relationships, healthy relationships with other people. Like who doesn't want to have healthy sisterhoods, healthy romantic relationships? Like who doesn't?
Absolutely.
Even if we're more familiar with negative stuff, that doesn't mean that people don't desire the other thing. And so a lot of us will decide, okay, well, this is what I'm familiar with, so that's what I'm going to stay with, versus taking a chance on nurturing that other stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing that, man.
Yeah,
like,
because it's comfortable.
Yes.
It's comfortable to sit
we find
there
comfort
and
in discomfort.
Yes. Yes. I don't like this. What you gonna do about it? I'm gonna sit here.
Yes.
No.
Like, especially when you have resources. I'm like, and sometimes we're our own resource. Like, why aren't we utilizing it?
Yes.
But like you said, it'll get comfortable. And I'm like, I don't want to find comfort in discomfort. No. Like, absolutely, there's going to be certain situations that you got to get uncomfortable in order to achieve stuff, right?
Yes.
But I'm not going to just sit in that mud and complain about the mud all day when there's water on the other side that I could be washing myself.
Come on. Preach. Yes. Gigi says we limit ourselves because of comfort. Absolutely.
It's true, Gigi. It's
if
true,
there's
Gigi.
nothing happening here, then get up, go over there. And if you want to think about, I always think about this story of the man at the well, right? And Jesus said to him, "Do you want to get well? Get up off your mat and walk."
Yeah.
And it's like, get up off the couch, okay?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and move and do something and ask. If you don't know what, you better ask somebody. Because I think
Right.
that's the piece right there too, is if you think you don't have a resource, trust me, you do. And like you said, it sometimes is you. You need to ask.
You do. You totally do. This is, I know one of the most freeing things for me personally and professionally was taking ownership of the fact and finding freedom of the fact that I don't know everything. I'm not going to
Ooh,
have
girl.
all the answers. That is so freeing to me. And I'm like super good with that. I love
Mm-hmm.
staying in my own lane. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Okay. I may be able to clog a sink, but that don't make me a plumber. Okay.
Hello. Oh, girl, say that one more
Like,
time.
you know what I'm saying? I may be able to fix this remote control, but I am not like a technician. I'm none of that.
Right,
And I'm
right.
okay with that. So it's like, it's okay to
Absolutely.
ask questions. It's okay to find, like, I see, okay, Sister Danny, familiar is the enemy of growth. Hello.
Yes.
Like, that is true.
Yes.
Like, such facts. That's a whole other
I
story. I
love
know.
that one. And
She just
you know,
tapped
and
it on
there's
the toe.
the old one is familiarity breeds contempt.
You better say
Mm.
it.
Yes, that
You
those
better
go
say
hand
it.
in hand. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that, you know, I love what you said. Just I can fix the sink, but I may not be the plumber, because so much of the time we're over here trying to fit by doing this thing that somebody else said we should do and
Yeah.
fit into that hole, and we're missing all the possibilities that are out there because we're trying to do all that is not in our lane.
It's
And
true.
so I love that you said you can stay in your lane. But here's the thing: the good thing about our God is that our lane could be so vast.
Hello.
It can
That's
be so
it.
big,
That's it,
you know.
Auntie.
It still can be your lane, and it could be wide
Well, you
and
think about a
open to
car.
possibility.
You think about lanes on the freeway, right?
Mm.
You stay in that lane, but how many different car models, colors,
Yes, yes.
you know, people, like all of that. Like that one lane still can have so many colorful elements to it, like you were describing. You
Hmm.
don't have to live completely this linear life, but I definitely believe that it's okay for you to nurture what is yours, what is your
Yes.
purpose. Because
Ooh,
there's some people that I've known or knew by 6 degrees of separation that well, I remember there was one specific situation, and I won't get in detail about it as to not trigger people, but I remember being in like junior high school, going into high school, and this particular person who's no longer with us because of how miserable they were with the career that they were in and the life that they had developed in that, because they were good at it, but it wasn't their purpose, it wasn't their love, it wasn't where their heart belonged. um, and they were a doctor, a medical physician, and it
yeah.
wasn't just triggers of what he saw. It was, we found out, just building their life based off of what people said that they or he should be.
Mm.
And words mean a lot, man. I don't think folks
Oh, girl.
realize that
Yes.
words
Yes.
translate into so much, into how many of us even view ourselves in our lives, period, and develop
Mhm.
ourselves in our
Mhm.
lives. I noticed,
Absolutely.
like, even when I have sessions, I ask some of the most elementary questions ever. And I always give a disclaimer like, I'm going to ask you questions throughout our time together. And it's not because I'm trying to insult your intelligence. I just want you to meet
Yeah.
yourself. That's
Ooh,
it.
come on. I love
Only
that.
asking our questions that allow you, we throw out there, and I love social media to a certain degree, but parts of it, it's, you need to love yourself. Great. Let's throw that out there, but how? And for me,
Mm.
I've learned that self-intimacy is that number one thing that is allowing people to get into the groove of loving themselves. And that means asking super basic elementary school questions. And the trip thing is, when I ask those questions, most people can't even answer them. Like simple stuff like, so what is it that you like to do? What are you interested in? Who are you? and they start telling me their roles, not who they are. Not that your roles
Yes.
are
Oh,
not
yes.
important,
I know.
right? Like your roles are very, very important. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But what parts of you even got you into those roles? Like, who are you? And that's often the challenge. And I get it, because we're oftentimes told that we need to design ourselves to fit into a role. And then when you become a role, you've accomplished something.
That's right. That's right. It's so true. I love that. Janae Johnson. Yes, I
Hi,
just want you
Nay.
to meet yourself. Is that your name? Hi, Nay.
That's my name. Yes, I just want you to meet yourself. Yes, self intimacy is big.
It's so
Ask yourself who
true.
you are.
It's so true.
Yes.
Gigi says she loves it. Absolutely. I love that too. In fact, I'm going to steal that in the room if you don't mind.
Are you kidding me? That's what all of this is about. We talked about resources in exchange. Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Exactly.
The
And
worst thing
exchange,
you can
because
do.
none of this is ours. We can't, this, we
Get
didn't
out
make
of
this
my
up.
head. Yes. It's not.
And what is it's so true. And my coach and a lot of other people say collaboration crushes the competition. Not
Hello.
crushes the competition, crushes competition. The
Competition,
need
period.
for it,
Yeah.
right? If you collaborate and we have like goals, and I love that, of course. And there's such a big need in our community for these kinds of conversations, for
Girl.
these kinds of thoughts and beliefs, and to be able to help one another, help the masses. I think that's a beautiful thing.
I love that word, Auntie, the masses. That's true.
Yes,
That's true.
yes.
I remember my mom said that. I know she's definitely one of the vessels our God used to allow me to hear this concept of me going into the world of psychology, because she would tell me, this is when I moved back to California, and she was like, you have the ability of touching a lot of people's lives. And there were certain people that I would privately sponsor, meaning, if they had hard times in life, like I wouldn't tell anyone that, okay, I'm helping this particular and there would be people I didn't know. Like it could be somebody off the freeway. And I'm like, I'm going to be your person that I would sponsor until I can't sponsor you anymore, help guide you or whatever the case is. And so she was like, I love that you do that. I know, because I didn't even tell her. She just picked up on it. She's like, why do they know you? And I'm like, oh, I would tiptoe around it. And so she figured it out herself. She was like,
that's what mothers do.
Exactly. And she said, this is a testament that it's now time for you to reach the masses. What's your next step?
Oh, I love that.
And
I
was like, what you mean? And at that time, yeah, what you mean, mama? She wasn't saying, oh, you need to go into therapy or anything like that. But I remember her saying that word masses, and then to hear you say it, I'm like, here it goes again, that full circle term that you don't necessarily hear that often. And that was one of the life-changing words, I believe, for me.
And mothers and people who know us and so into us, they can say so much by saying so little.
Right? You better say it. Yeah.
She just said it's time for you to take this to the masses. And you don't have to know what that means, but you have to trust that it has meaning. Because if it hits you in a certain place, in a certain way, makes you feel some kind of way, makes you move a certain way, there's something more to that.
You hit the nail on the head.
I think
you have to be willing, and you have to, that just sparked the thought that's one of the things I've been teaching within my own practice. I noticed, we come up with themes because we're learning in life as well. We ain't in there with all the answers. And I was like, goodness, how is it that I've been able, in certain areas, been able to make healthy decisions? And I noticed in my growth, not just in age, just in maturity, I was like, I'm listening to my body more. Like that's telling me everything. Not just going to my head first. I was like, what is my body telling me? And the moment I started listening to my body, the moment my answers have come, or I've had better results in having the right answers.
Yes.
Once I consulted with what this feels like.
Absolutely.
The
Yes.
body is such genius, man.
It
Like,
is. It is.
it is
so
such
is.
genius.
And you know, when you get those feelings, and that's why I love mindfulness so much, because learning to use your breath can help you to calm your body in such a way that you can hear from it.
Yep.
You can feel it. And we have to be willing to listen to the silent things.
The silent things. Yep.
Yes, yes. You know, and I just thought of this, when we think about body language, I was talking about like in the room, right? You have to read people's body language.
Right.
But then we have to, in turn, like you said, self-intimacy, become so intimate and so quiet with ourselves that we can read our own body language, because our body will speak to us, and not just in the ways that represent the trauma and the sadness and pain, but it will speak to you in some happy ways too. You just got to be there. You just got to be there to hear it.
You do, man. Like, I think even some people are having, so I mentioned to you, even when we were discussing before here, just as far as like, what is it my career is kind of about. And part of that is differentiation, and being able to, it just sparked the thought of anxiety. And I'm thinking on anxiety because it's such a common, word usage now that people are more awake about mental health and emotional health. And anxiety is super real.
And in this pandemic.
It is. But I think sometimes we're having a difficult time understanding or listening to our body and being able to differentiate from anxiety and excitement.
Yes.
So we're dismissing the excitement, right? To pay attention to the anxiety. And I'm like, no. It's okay. Like, hone in on that. Embrace the crap out of that. Like, because we're so designed to worry or to prepare for the worst. And so when this good stuff comes, we're like, oh my God, I'm just so anxious. And the anxiety is filling my body. And your body is really like, no. Sit in the silence, like you were saying, Auntie.
Yes.
Sit in the silence. Because that's not anxiety, sweetheart. You're just excited.
Yes.
And it's
love that. And the crazy thing is, yes, when you have anxiety, your heart might race. When you're excited, your heart might race.
Your heart might race.
Yes. And so, I love that, to be able to differentiate between the, okay, hold on. What is this feeling? And that's where the mindfulness comes in, y'all. You got to be in touch. Pay attention to your life in a particular way, in the present moment.
Yeah.
On purpose, without judgment.
Without judgment. And that's the other thing, the other differentiation. Sometimes we don't understand judgment and being judgmental and having good judgment.
Ooh, girl, stop. Say that again.
So, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
You're right, because you do have to enter things without judgment. But the moment you call somebody out on something, or the truth speaks up, someone's like, now you're being judgmental. No. You still got to have good judgment. And it goes to what you're saying, being mindful. Being mindful of what's going on within you, so you can develop a good judgment about yourself, so you can develop the self-love that you're looking for. Because if you're not able to, I guess, consult with yourself and have some kind of internal scope about yourself, then the rest of the world's going to tell you who the hell you are.
And you're going to listen.
And you're going to listen. That's it.
And you'll be all out of alignment.
All out of alignment. I'm like,
hold on one second. Hold on, Naki, for one sec. I mean, Dr. Janoc.
No. Naki is fine. I'm fine with that. It keeps me young.
We wanna look at some of these comments here. Well, B. Gibbons says, trust the process.
Hi,
Absolutely.
Bobby.
That's exactly what we're talking about, Miss Bobby. Thank you. Is that Miss Bobby or Mr. Bobby? That's Miss Bobby.
That's Miss Bobby.
Thank you, Miss Bobby. I love that. Danny said, yes, the body doesn't lie. Ooh, you ain't never said that. That's true. Nay says, speak. Absolutely.
We're speaking, girl. So wait, pause. Nay is also marriage family therapy and marriage and family
Oh,
therapy as well.
okay.
Shout out
Wonderful.
to another clinician up in
Thank
here.
you, clinician. All right.
Danny is all up in the clinical world too. She's Miss Social Worker. So
Oh, come on. I love it.
we
I
got an
love it.
artist in the
Thank you
building,
all for
Bobby too.
joining. Yes. And let's see.
Is
You
that
know
Mika?
this
It's not. That's Namika.
Oh,
That's your other niece.
yeah, my niecey poo.
Yes, my sister.
Who is
Cuz
also a clinician.
I didn't even read the actual like tag name. Hi,
Yeah.
my honey. She gives me
Look at
all the
those.
juices inside.
Aw, and she's a clinician too.
No, not Mika.
Oh, Nicole is the clinician. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Namika,
yes, Miss
Namika
Radio
is on our
broadcast lady.
is hello. She's our entertainment
Yes,
guru, director,
yes.
all that good stuff.
Love it. Hey.
Rachel, hey.
I love it. Listen.
So wait
this
a
is
minute.
so
I
rich.
gotta check in with you because let's not forget this is January 5th and you mentioned it. How are you feeling? So we're talking about emotional health.
Yes,
Hello.
absolutely. Thank you, baby girl. Thank you so much. I will tell you that leading up to it, I had flutters in my tummy.
Mhm.
And it's because also there have been, December was just wrought with, anniversary dates. Our anniversary was December 19th. His birthday was December 21st. Granny's birthday was Christmas Eve. So there were so many things that were just so full of William, that were happening. And then I feel like for me today has been bittersweet, of course, but I've embraced the joy because if William was anything, it was joy. And together we were like the Joy Twins,
For real. Just a ball of energy.
Yes. And so I think today was of all of the days, I feel like today was the most special because this is the day that like it all started. We met at the credit union. Shout out to Westcom Credit Union.
Hey.
On Van Nuys and Addison.
Hey.
Because it was such a random meeting and it was such a beautiful, beautiful thing, the way that it happened so organically. I was not dolled up or any of that. Y'all, I look like a troll from up under the bridge. And you know how many times we've gotten dressed up, hair did, eyelashes on, lips done, and pumps on, going out to meet some guy, right? And no, that wasn't that day.
But that's when they get us. When we looking all toed up from the floor up.
Yes.
They're like, if this is her worst.
Right. What do I have to look forward to? But thank you for asking. There's so many things that came with meeting him. I got to meet all of you, the family, the beautiful friends. I got nieces and bonus nieces, Lauren, and I just feel like today was an opportunity for me to have some joy and reflection because he was so much. He was so big and so present and such a heart person,
Sure.
and so I chose today to allow myself to sit in all the real feelings, but to live in and focus on the joy.
Oh man, that's just a testament to who you are as well.
Thank you.
Like I said in the beginning, like you have been a gift from him as well. And that doesn't always work out,
Yeah.
I may be a sweet person, but I am not going to speak on the sweetness if that's not how I feel. And I'm like, you have just, I don't know, you definitely been a joy from him because he's been that uncle in my life that was another father figure. And I've expressed that to you, several times before. And even when he was laid to rest, it's just real. He's one of the founding persons to me building my esteem as a young girl, now a woman. And to see that this is who he chose to be with and gift us with it. Like, I'm definitely grateful for that. But I
Thank
like
you.
how you're handling things as well, doing both sides, because I think that also helps you help people even more within your
Yeah,
office and in
yeah,
your line of work as well. Um,
yeah.
but
You
yeah, I
know,
just wanted to check in with that because that's for
thank
real.
you. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, being
Penny, I see Penny on there.
oh
Sorry.
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna put that up. Um, here we go.
So Penny, that's my cousin Penny on my daddy's
I
side.
remember, yes.
And she's just another one of those persons that I call her my healer.
Oh, and we
She
need
got the
that.
healing hands, the healing voice, the healing words. She's just another sister. Speaking of sisterhood, so yeah.
Yes,
So you
absolutely.
done brought the healing people on here,
I
Auntie,
like it. I
for your
like
for
it.
your day, your January 5th day.
Yes, absolutely. You know, when I think of all the joy, and I think of the gift, and I think of the bonus family, and I think of all the time that we got together and all the friends that we got
Yeah,
to share and all the people that got to love him and know him, and from my side and all the people that I got to know and love from his side, it's just one big ball of joy all across, and of course we're imperfect humans, so yes, we had, married people stuff, but we always ended up in joy, and I am so grateful that that's who my husband was, and that's who I got to do life with
I love it.
for 14 years, 12 married, and I've known him for 14 years.
Girl, that's inspirational. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Because a lot
And
of
for
people
all
not
you
saying that
ladies,
joy word.
what's that? Say that again.
It's like because a lot of people ain't saying that joy word, okay?
Ooh, you better
And they've
know.
been
You
married
better
for
know.
40 years. So
Yes,
that's
yes,
inspirational.
yes, yes. And just to inspire you all further, in ladies out there who are women of a certain age, I did not meet my husband until I was 46.
Hmm.
And don't be out there doing the math to find out how old I am. I'll just tell you, I'm
You're
61,
grown.
turning 62 in February with a bullet.
Dang, I didn't even realize that. Look at our cutimus and stuff. Yes,
Okay,
that's
I'll
a
give
word,
you
y'all.
that.
Cutimus is a word.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
Look at that. I don't know where you're going to find it, but you heard it here.
Janoc, we have some people here from another place, and I wish I knew what that meant. I hope it's good because I just posted it, but thank you for joining in.
I don't know because it looks scammerish. But if it's
We're
not,
gonna go
Lord
with it.
forgive us.
We're gonna go with it. Yes. But okay, whatever that means.
Hey,
Whatever that
hey.
means. But I think we're about coming to an end. So a couple things I just you got me a little tearish
It's
here.
okay. It's okay.
Um, I want to just have you because there's certain questions I always like to ask. So what is, and I know there are a lot of your peeps on here, so this might be a hard one, but I'm gonna make you dig. What is something that the world doesn't know about you, like a fun fact, a hard to believe something?
Oh my God. Because I'm such an open freaking book at times. That's a hard one. But the world doesn't. Um, I'll say I'll mention this because I think it's weird that some people, when I meet them without me speaking, and folks that have known me for years, known of me for years, they have this concept that I'm just this polished type of like girly girl type of deal. I'm not at all. Like like I like nice things, that's great and all, but I love getting my hands dirty. So I'd like to describe myself as I'm very feminine, but I'm really not that girly, y'all. So I like nature, I like getting my hands dirty. People call me a mermaid because I love swimming and all that kind of stuff. It Dirt is just a shower away. So
There you go. Absolutely.
yeah. So when you think of, and then the credentials don't make it any better. So people just think, oh yeah, she must be really, I'm not.
Dr.
Fool.
Janoc.
Yeah, no, I'm a total happy fool. I'm silly than a mug.
and and a little
So yeah.
and I want to give a shout out to baby brother
Who's on here? Who's
Larry. He's not, I don't know if he's on here or not. He's not on here, but I love him so much. And I love you guys. She is so super close to her baby brother. He's an amazing human on the planet, Larry.
He is my life.
Oh, Penny just shouted you out here.
She did. She's right. I love dolphins. Dolphins make me cry.
Oh,
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just my spirit animal or what.
could be.
I think so. When I see them, it's just all the floods. And I have swam with them twice. And
You've done that?
Yes.
In San Diego?
No, girl, in Jamaica.
Jamaica, man. I love it.
I love it.
Gigi says it's okay to be a lady and get your hands dirty.
Oh, you better say it. That's me all day.
I love it.
That's me all day.
Absolutely. Look, I'm born a tomboy. I always stayed one. I'm girly girl.
Yes.
I'm very girly girl. But when mommy put those socks on me, it was worthless because those little lacy ones and all that.
Yeah, girl, no.
I love some shoes, all that kind of stuff.
Nothing wrong with it. Speaking of Larry, though, you guys, of course, there's some people on here that know him and are related to him and are beyond involved in his life. He has Down syndrome, and he's like the most inspirational, I think, part of my life. Like the life that you see in me is because of him, to really be honest with you. I know that God used that. And this is actually the catalyst to why I created Living as a Lifestyle as my private practice. Like those words literally have come from him. And that business is designed to, I'm a clinical life coach in that private sector. Because I wanted the freedom to be able to help people across the globe versus having to be tied to the BBS to a certain degree, which comes to, it comes with the pros and cons. Mm-hmm. However, that has been, I'm a clinical director for a company out here, but I'm also Living as a Lifestyle. It has been built and created because of Larry. So yes, I do clinical life coaching, clinical consulting. And I also, Auntie, I don't know if you know this, part of Living as a Lifestyle is also a business that's designed to be an entertainment consultant. For clinical matters. So for example, like these shows ER and all that kind of stuff, they have medical consultants for script writing or character development and all that. So this is how, again, that entertainment and performing arts lifestyle has fused and merged, because my entertainment background, like as far as my old colleagues, they're like, we need you for our film or for our script. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
But again, listening and Larry. Hello.
I love it. I love that you are living is a lifestyle and I am living loved pathways to holistic healing.
Would you come on?
See?
There's so it sounds like you need to merge a little bit. We need to do some more.
We got to do some. Yes. Janae says, yes, tomboys breed the best women. Absolutely.
We're going to say it. Janae is the ultimate beautiful tomboy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Gwendolyn. We just popped in. We love you. Just popped on to double celebrate with you. And my boyfriend, Larry, happy birthday. Her husband is also a Larry. Happy birthday,
happy
Larry.
Birthday to your husband, Gwen.
And we have a gentleman in the house.
That's my boo.
Love
That's my baby.
That's your boo. Boo is such a sweetie poo, and he's cute.
He is. Yeah, he's cute. He's cute. When I log off here, I get to hug him.
You what?
I said, when I log off of here, I get to hug him.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, listen, it's been so great having you on. I love you dearly, and I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so glad we get to mix family and biz and all of that stuff. And so tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. right now. You can reach out to me on Instagram, especially in my DMs, JANOCVV. And again, like I said, that's on Instagram. You can email me at drjanoc@gmail.com, especially if you want any of my services. Or just
say that email again, babe.
DR, so D like dog, R, so Dr. Janoc, JANOC at gmail.com. And we can chat from there and figure out if I'm not the one for you. Trust me, I can help you find somebody. This is what it's about. It's not just about taking on people that we know. When we know that someone else is, a better fit for you, we want to get people living and not just breathing.
Yes. Did I get that right, babe?
You got it. No, not V, Auntie. Just Dr. Janoc at gmail.com.
Oh, okay. Let's clean that up.
It's all good.
Jannock. And let me change that to, there we go, Dr. Jannock at gmail.com.
Yep.
There. All right, let's put that one up. And then I have the IG as well. That's Dr. Jannock at gmail.com. And then her Instagram is Dr. Jannock.
No, you had it right. Janoc VV. Janoc VV on Instagram. You had it on there, Auntie.
There it is.
You're fine.
Okay. So I loved chatting with you. Thank you so much for being here.
I love chatting with you.
All for joining us.
Wait, I'm going to take a picture of you. Hold on. So photography is my therapy too, guys.
I love it.
Here we go. Smile. You're on camera. Gotcha.
Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing. Hold on. There we go. Let's get up close and personal. Got it. Beautiful. So join me next week on Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that's you. Thank you once again. We love you.
Love you guys.
And, wait, I like to get all those comments up there. Penelope, this was wonderful. Thank you, Sean and Jannock, for spreading the love and truth. Absolutely.
Love you guys. Thank you for your support and continue to support my gorgeous auntie and super smart and super talented auntie. Please continue to watch her show. Go to YouTube. Watch it. Spread the word.
That's right. And it's also on Facebook at Living Loved Healing or Living Loved Pathways to Holistic Healing. But you can get it just by typing in Living Loved Healing in the chat there or in the search. And also on Sean LaRae Brinkley and on YouTube at Boss Talk LA.
Whoop, whoop.
So we'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you, Danny. We love you and we are out.
Laters.